Today, we're going to face something most people don't want to acknowledge. This isn't just about habits or actions, it's about how the smallest choices shape your ability to connect spiritually, to manifest, to awaken. This is about how every indulgence in a lower urge, whether it's smoking, drinking, or even something like lust without love, leaves a mark. It may seem small, but each choice adds up, building either strength or weakening you in ways you may not realize. Let's get real about it. Every time you indulge in something you know isn't aligned with your higher self, something in you feels that regret or guilt. And here's the thing about guilt. It's not just an emotion you brush off. Guilt, even if it's subtle, leaves an imprint on the mind. Your mind, your subconscious, keeps a quiet tally. It remembers each time you went against what you know deep down was right, each time you broke that inner rule. Over time, this tally builds, and your mind, that wise subconscious part of you, begins to judge, not in a moral sense, but in terms of trust. Imagine it this way. Your mind is assessing, how ready is this person for greater things? Can they handle the weight of true spiritual growth if they can't even resist these basic worldly urges? It may sound harsh, but consider this. Why would you trust yourself with the responsibility of creating a life aligned with your highest vision if you're not showing self-discipline in the everyday choices that make up that life? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Every time you choose to control your impulses, every time you say no to something that would weaken your resolve, you're building that strength. You're proving to yourself, in a way that no one else can, that you're ready for something greater. But every time you indulge, you're signaling to your mind, "I don't have that discipline yet. I'm not quite ready." And make no mistake, your mind remembers that signal. You see, spiritual awakening isn't just about enlightenment or moments of bliss. It's about becoming someone who's trustworthy to handle the depths of the unknown, the power of true manifestation. Think of it like this. If you're training for a marathon, you don't get there by skipping out on every other training day. You don't become a marathon runner by indulging every craving, every lazy morning. In the same way, spiritual awakening and manifestation demand consistency, discipline, and integrity. It requires that you meet each moment as a choice to either strengthen your spirit or feed your lower self. Now, let's talk about those lower urges: smoking, drinking, lust without love. Why do these things impact us so deeply? It's because they come from a place of avoidance, from a moment of choosing the easy, immediate way out. Smoking when you're stressed instead of breathing through it, drinking to numb emotions instead of facing them, or seeking meaningless intimacy to escape loneliness rather than cultivating connection. These actions are ways we run from ourselves, from our higher capabilities. And here's the truth. Every time you run from your own power, your own capacity for mastery, you diminish that power bit by bit. You're telling yourself, "I don't believe I can handle this." That's what your mind registers, and it's a powerful message. When you're constantly telling yourself that you can't manage even the small impulses, you're slowly convincing yourself that you can't handle larger spiritual responsibilities. And this affects your self-trust at the core. Think about it. Would you entrust a precious, life-changing mission to someone who couldn't keep their word on small things? Of course not. In the same way, your higher self, your inner wisdom, needs to know that you can be trusted with larger universal forces. And this trust is built in the everyday choices, in the small victories over lower urges. Now, does this mean you need to be perfect? No, but it does mean that you need to be intentional. Each time you catch yourself reaching for that cigarette, that drink, or even just zoning out with meaningless distractions, pause. Ask yourself, am I making a choice that will strengthen my spirit, or am I letting my lower self take control? Realize that with every small choice, you're either stepping closer to or further from your spiritual awakening. There's an old saying, "As within, so without." The state of your inner world reflects in the outer world you experience. If you're nurturing discipline, integrity, and self-trust, you'll begin to see your life respond in kind. The clearer, stronger, and more intentional you are within, the more you'll see that clarity and strength manifest in your outer life. And as you build this inner alignment, you'll find that manifestation becomes smoother, faster, almost effortless. Why? Because you're no longer battling yourself. You're living in integrity, and when you're aligned with your higher self, the world aligns with you. In the end, spiritual awakening is about becoming someone who's prepared to handle the full weight of your potential. It's about training your mind to serve your highest self, not your passing desires. And that training happens here, in the everyday choices you make. You have the power to impress strength, clarity, and discipline on your subconscious and to let those choices become the foundation of your life. So ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to create? And then choose your actions carefully. Choose thoughts, actions, and habits that build trust within yourself, that align you with your highest purpose. When you do that, spiritual awakening is no longer just an idea. It becomes your way of life, your natural state. And remember, as Nietzsche said, he who cannot obey himself will be commanded. Obey your higher self, honor that call, and watch as your life transforms. Choose actions that reflect who you want to be, not just in the short term, but in the deep, lasting truth of your spirit.